Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Weather is still holding out. It's pretty amazing here. We are supposed to start getting some rain tonight and tomorrow. I don't think it'll be anything significant. Of course, everything is still very soaked and all that, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. Not calling for too much, half inch, maybe an inch of rain on top of all this wet ground that we have. I mean, the creeks and the rivers and the lakes are still just, some of them at record highs, still flowing very, very good, especially this time of the year. But we could handle a little bit more rain. Recovery and rebuilding and all that kind of efforts are doing really great around here after all the storms. Saw some road crews out yesterday, actually starting on the process of rebuilding roads. You know, right now they're kind of in the triage stage. They're just going around and hitting the worst spots, trying to make those areas passable as much as possible. And then, you know, later on down the road, they'll go through and actually start, you know, regrading and reconstructing roads to make them kind of back to normal. But things are going pretty good. Went down yesterday. There's a campgrounds not too far from us in our area, and I went down there, and it was unbelievable the amount of damage, the water that had come through there. The whole campground's flooded. Probably we estimate 6 to 7 foot deep. The campgrounds, not the creek that runs next to it. The campgrounds itself probably had 6 to 7 foot of water, and everything was covered in mud. Everything. It was just the ground, the trees, the buildings, what was left was all covered in mud. So it's got a lot of rain and a lot of water coming through the area. So something that I have talked about in the past few weeks, and I think it's the things that I'm seeing since the election are certainly indicating that that's the direction that we're going, and it may get there. We may get to this point sooner than we think, and that is serious economic problems. I've been saying for a while that, you know, weeks ago, regardless of who wins the election, we're going to go through some pretty serious economic times. Everything is indicating that's what's happening. And of course, now that Trump has won, it's like it's okay now to talk about recession. You know, there's things online openly saying that the numbers are showing that we are in or very, very near a recession. The stock market, of course, as I've said the last couple of days, just went crazy after Donald Trump won the election. And I know that that's made people money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a very good thing, because the stock market was already overvalued. And so now it's even more overvalued. In fact, it's more overvalued now than it has been since the dot-com bubble burst. And so it just keeps going up, and it's just making the pending doom, I guess you could say, probably a lot worse. Job market is just collapsing. Job openings are dropping, falling off a cliff. Those numbers came out just a week or so ago, and now looking at them, now the latest numbers, they're showing that not good. It just, no one's hiring. Businesses are slowing down. This is a time of the year that typically, especially in the retail industry, that they're doing good. They're finally starting to catch up for the year, right? That's why they call it Black Friday, you know, that they're finally going into the black for the year. And that's probably not going to happen for a lot of businesses. We've heard of so many businesses cutting back on employees just recently. I know that's been a trend for now since COVID, of businesses downsizing, but just recently in the last few weeks, there's been several businesses cut back on employees and also shut down. Banks are shutting down branches. Pharmacies are shutting down their branches. It's growing and growing and growing. And I think so many people, both on the left and the right, haven't been paying too much attention to that, because the last few weeks, all the energy's been on the election. And so now that that's over, and there seems to be a little bit of a lull, it's eerily quiet. Now people are recognizing that, wait a minute, the economy is in shambles, and it's about ready to just fall apart. Personal debt is at an all-time high. People are paying more interest right now on debts than they've ever paid before. And whether or not this whole economic downturn / collapse, because, you know, maybe it'll go that far, maybe it'll just be an economic downturn. Is it planned? I mean, I don't know that you could say it's actually planned, because this has been a buildup over years. But it is kind of interesting that this is all coming out now after Trump wins the White House. I mean, who knows? If Kamala had won, would they be out so openly talking about how bad the economy is? Maybe, probably not though. You figure we've got 2 months or so, 2-3 months before Trump takes office. Was it like 74 days, something like that? So 2.5 months. Will it happen before or after? Who knows? But regardless, Trump will get blamed for it. I have no doubt. And that may be his first big thing that he has to deal with as a president. It's not so much the wars or even the border or all these other issues, but the economy. Because if the economy starts just completely unraveling at a rapid pace, it'll take precedent over all these other things. And so we'll see how he handles that. I know that Trump's economic policies in the past and what he says are generally good, but who knows? There is a lot of talk. You know, one of the things that he, and this is what makes me a little uneasy, because we don't know a whole lot yet. You know, a lot of times, well, most of the time when there's political campaigns, they talk about highlights. You know, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that, I'm going to do that, but they don't get into the weeds with it. And so with this one, there hasn't been enough discussed to make me feel comfortable with it. But one of what seems to be a solution that's starting to be spread around, you know, Donald Trump, this campaign was very openly supporting cryptocurrency. And so now the talk is that the only way to fix the system is to basically collapse the US dollar and to bring about a new currency. Sound familiar? But they're saying that Donald Trump would probably try to bring about a decentralized cryptocurrency, kind of like a Bitcoin. I'm not in favor of that anyways, but I would be more in favor of that than a central bank digital currency, which is not decentralized. It is very centralized. There's not been a lot of talk about this, but there are rumors, I guess you could say, being spread around that this may be the only solution to all of this economic problems, to the currency issues and the financial woes of the country, is to collapse the US dollar and immediately transition over to a type of, you know, cryptocurrency dollar. If that happens, and I'm not saying that it would, I don't trust it. It's not because I'm old and I don't understand it. I understand cryptocurrency very well. I've been following it since just about the beginning, at least back in 2012, 2013. I started paying attention to it a little bit. So it's not that I don't understand it. It's that I don't trust it. And I certainly don't trust it in regards to biblical end times, because I think cryptocurrency could very easily be part of that beast system, most likely part of the beast system, regardless of whether it's Bitcoin or some CBDC. But the more the economy starts to go south, and is that because they want to make Trump look bad, or is Trump and his people and his control wanting it to go bad so that a digital currency can be unveiled? I don't know, but there's definitely been work on that for a long time. There's been laws and certain policies and things being put into place that would pave the way for that. Yes, there have been some that's trying to put restraints on that. But all in all, when you look at the whole world is going crypto. They're going crypto in their actual currency. So at some point, you know that America is going to do the same thing. And it's starting to look more and more like that scenario is being kind of created. It's being set up right now, with stock market just going up into nosebleed sections and other parts of the economy going downward. Like I said yesterday, you've got Jerome Powell, chairman of the Fed, basically letting America know that the Fed does not answer to the people. The Fed does not answer to the government. When he said, no, if Donald Trump wants me to step down, I'm not going to do it. Why? Because he doesn't have to. They're not controlled by the government. They are a private central bank. And it's the other way around, more as the Fed is controlling more of the government. So I think that there's more ahead with this. I mean, like I said, right now, everyone's focused on the win, whether they liked it or they hate it. Everyone's focusing on the election outcome, and that's fine. But I think that this whole economy thing is going to creep up on people really fast, and it just seems a little strange that out of nowhere, now that Donald Trump won the presidency, out of nowhere, now we got to talk about how the economy's falling apart and we are in some kind of recession. So I'd brace yourselves for that. I've been telling you that for months. I've been telling you that for years, that it is coming. We as a nation cannot print money like we are. We cannot go into the amount of debt that we've gone in. We can't weaponize our currency around the world and expect that these things are going to happen without any repercussions. We're getting to that point that we have to pay the man for what we've done, and as a nation. And it could be a pretty bumpy ride, because it's gotten bigger than it's ever been before. The bubble, which will cause the collapse to even be greater. So I would get yourselves ready for that one. Start looking into ways to, for those of you that have retirement plans, 401ks, just investments, money set aside, cash in the bank, that kind of stuff, you should probably be seriously looking at other ways to put that wealth into things that might secure it a little bit better when all this happens. And I'm not the person to ask that. I mean, I can give you some tips, but you really need to look at an expert. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.